threatened my grandsons all the time. He threw rocks at my mom.
He was only 11 years old, a child, barely tall enough to see over the courtroom bench. But in 1997, Nathaniel Abraham made history not for something he achieved, but for something horrifying. He became one of the youngest people in American history to be charged with first-degree murder. It happened on the night of October 29, 1997, in Pontiac, Michigan. Nathaniel Abraham, just 11 years old, was hiding in the woods with a stolen rifle. He had skipped school earlier that day. That night, he pulled the trigger. The bullet struck 18-year-old Ronnie Green in the head. He died shortly after. Nathaniel later told police he didn't mean to shoot anyone, that he was just shooting at trees, but Ronnie was dead. And Nathaniel was now a murder suspect. Nathaniel wasn't your average kid. From the age of 5, he had a long history of behavioral problems: anger, defiance, violent outbursts. Teachers, counselors, and psychologists had raised red flags for years. He lived in poverty, was in and out of school, and struggled mentally and emotionally. He had told people before the shooting that he wanted to hurt someone. He was crying out for help, but the system failed to respond in time. What shocked the nation wasn't just the killing, it was what happened next. Under a new law in Michigan, prosecutors could try children of any age, as adults, for violent crimes. So, at age 11, Nathaniel Abraham was charged with first-degree murder as an adult. Across the country, debates erupted. Child psychologists, activists, and the public asked, can an 11-year-old really understand the weight of murder? Should a child be punished like a grown man? The trial began in 1999. Nathaniel, now 13, sat in a courtroom too big for him both in size and in meaning. He was tried in adult court, though he wore dress clothes that didn't fit and sat beside lawyers twice his age. The jury eventually found him guilty, but not of premeditated murder. Instead, he was convicted of second-degree murder. He was sentenced as a juvenile, and would be held until he turned 21. In 2007, Nathaniel Abraham walked out of juvenile detention, at age 21 a free man. He said he wanted to go to college, start over, and live a normal life. But freedom didn't come easy. Over the following years, Nathaniel was arrested several times for drug possession, theft, and parole violations. The damage of his early life, it seemed, had left deep scars. The Nathaniel Abraham case became a turning point in the conversation about juvenile justice. It exposed the cracks in how America treats child offenders. It raised difficult but necessary questions. Should we punish or rehabilitate? Are children responsible in the same way adults are? Today, his story is studied by law students, debated by policymakers, and remembered by a society still struggling to balance justice with compassion. Nathaniel Abraham was a child who pulled the trigger. But behind the act was a life filled with warnings, neglect, and unanswered cries for help. Was he a cold-blooded killer or a boy lost in a world that never gave him a chance? The Nathaniel Abraham case became a turning point in the conversation about juvenile justice. It exposed the cracks in how America treats child offenders. It raised difficult but necessary questions. Should we punish or rehabilitate? Are children responsible in the same way adults are? Today, his story is studied by law students, debated by policymakers, and remembered by a society still struggling to balance justice with compassion.